Welcome back to my channel, Defense Against Dark Deeds, where I teach you a magician's approach to self-defense. Malcolm Gladwell's book, Talking to Strangers, talks about what he calls the friend's fallacy. When you watch the TV show Friends, you see people openly and clearly displaying their emotions, one emotion at a time, conveyed very clearly to the camera. And when you watch it, you start to think that maybe people really are like that. That's what the friend's fallacy is, because people really are not quite that simple. When somebody is feeling something, they're feeling many things at once. And when you look at their eyes, you look at their expression, you can't always tell immediately and clearly what they are feeling. And this is what goes wrong in so many instances where a police officer interacts with the public. When a patrol officer approaches a car and looks in the window and they see a person there, and that person's eyes keep glancing away, the officer might do a little mind reading and might think, what are they looking at? Are they looking at that glove box? Do they think they can get to that weapon in the glove box? Can they get there before I can get them? Is that what's going on? Or is the driver trying to be non-threatening? Is the driver just averting their gaze from the officer so as to not appear aggressive and threatening? And isn't even looking at anything in particular? It turns out that officers are pretty poor mind readers. And there's a reason for this, and it's because of something that they carry. When you carry a gun, you become much worse at mind reading. Now, why is that? When you carry a gun, you realize, if you've been trained in it, that there's an ideal distance for that weapon to be used. And it turns out that distance is somewhere between 21 feet and 40 feet for a pistol. Anything closer than 21 feet and your pistol is a little bit of a liability for you. You recognize that when you're closer to a suspect than 21 feet, there's an inherent danger to you because of your own gun. That suspect, the person that you're talking to, could get your gun. Everything becomes life and death, and the difference between life and death is seconds, fractions of a second. It's just reaction time. It becomes very, very close. There's a thought process that goes on that the military discovered, and it was talked about by one of their officers in the Korean War, I believe, United States Air Force Colonel John Boyd. And it's called the OODA loop, O-O-D-A, OODA loop, pardon me, O-O-D-A loop. What this is it's observe, orient, decide, act. Observe, orient, decide, act. When you're carrying a gun and you recognize that you're in a situation that's too close for the range of that weapon, but closer than 21 feet, you recognize that it's all about reaction time at this point. And therefore, so often in these cases, when you see something, you see a shiny object, something in there, your vision becomes like tunnel vision. You're just seeing this very narrow tunnel, and you think, I don't have time to react. I don't have time to react. It's too close. We're too close. And then there's a shiny object that comes out, and oh, it's a cell phone, but it's too late. You've already acted. You've already pulled the trigger. That's because you're too close for the weapon, too close for a pistol. Cops would be safer. Cops would be better if they didn't carry weapons. Now, this is going to be controversial, especially in the US, but there's case studies. We can look at Britain for an example where they don't carry guns on a routine basis. Now, that 21-foot rule will be important, especially in the next video, as I explain why every weapon has its ideal range. The gun doesn't make the officer safer. It makes them more vulnerable less powerful because it short circuits their most powerful weapon that they have, that we all have, and that's our mind. When our mind has the chance to observe, orient ourselves, decide, and then act, that full OODA loop process, we're much more powerful than when we're forced into a situation. When we bring an object into a situation that encourages us to short circuit that OODA loop on our own, so that we leave out the orientation, leave out the decide, and we go right from observe right to action. And that's where mistakes are made. Tune in next time when we look at why every weapon has an ideal range and what that means. Subscribe to my channel and keep watching. This is Clinton Combs, Defense Against Dark Deeds.